And we are going right away in the middle of things with our first speaker. I'm very, very excited to introduce Wolfgang Tillmans, who needs no introduction. He's done an extraordinary show last year at the Serpentine Gallery. Exhibition actually which has not only been an immense critical success, but also the most visited exhibition in the history of the gallery with almost 200,000 visitors. Wolfgang lives between London and Berlin. His work includes many different aspects: portraiture, still life, landscapes, and also abstract photography. In 2000, he was the recipient of the Turner Prize and has exhibited in museums worldwide. Since 2006, he runs the exhibition space Between Bridges in London. It was interesting when we worked with Wolfgang on the exhibition, we very often discussed this topic of the garden, and Wolfgang was telling us about his secret garden. So we're very excited that he here for the first time agreed to present Ursuppe and other garden pictures. A very warm welcome to Wolfgang Tillmans.
Yes, hello. Where?
Nothing yet?
Oh, there we are. There's a picture.
Good.
Great picture quality. No, it's fine. I mean, I wanted this to be guided by the pictures. I hope you still get a little bit an idea. I never planned to have a garden, but it came to me in '98 when I moved to a flat that had in Gray's Inn Road in Clerkenwell, a flat that had a little ledge outside the top window, and I found a window box which was completely overgrown with weed. And that summer I was in Italy, and I collected some acorns from a friend's garden, and I pressed them into the weeds, and then the next year I had these little tree saplings, and over the course of 3 years I photographed this window box, which became like this miniature garden. Taking it indoors for this picture, window box 2000. And so even though it was tiny, it felt like a sort of enclosed world. And then I moved, and I took the window box with me, and I moved to an ex-council flat which had one of these balconies where you access the flat from this outdoor walkway, and I began to collect more plants, and this is the window box now completely overgrown in a picture called Plant Life from 2004. And then I bought an apple tree, which this is called Inner City Apple Tree from 2003, and then I began photographing it. It wasn't really that I bought it or I photographed it as a project, but it was just an intuitive reaction because I every day walked past this developing growth and this ripening apples that is typical for how I work, that things often only afterwards turn out to be serious. So I don't plan them as that, but later I realize, oh, there is now a solid group of several works together, and this is from, I think, 2004, the first year I had the tree, when children were then stealing all the apples. And on the last one, I put this post-it note, please leave this one. And then when was it, like 4 years ago, I found this abandoned plot of land, a building plot in Berlin, which was half a foundation, an abandoned foundation of a building that was never built in the 90s, and half just a wilderness. And so ever since I've been photographing there, and for my contribution to the Venice Biennale in 2009, I made on the one hand this installation of sea prints called Silver Installation 7, which was then later last year shown here at the Serpentine, and in the same room was this enormous inkjet print of this picture called Garden, which is 3 by 4 meters in size. And the whole room in Venice was very much a consideration about the representation of color and nature, and color, pure color as nature, so that the abstract pictures, the silvers, were not there as representations of something, but they were there as nature, just as the garden photograph and this other installation, which was also in Venice and later at the Serpentine. And this one is called Ursuppe, which means primordial soup, and on this foundation, this big slab of concrete, there is a little difference in level, just 2 centimeters, and according to weather, it's filled with water, and there's like this algae growth, and there's this different levels of rotting taking place, and there's a minute difference in height, creating a very different texture and color. And this is Ursuppe 2 from last year. And so this place is pretty much left to its own devices. Even though on one half I planted fruit trees, the majority is as is, and there is like what I think must have been built, planned as an elevator for cars, to bring cars down from street level to an underground car park, and that has been completely filled with water and become this pond. Which is here, no? Is an elevator shaft that's now completely filled with water. And I mean, I see it as work. I mean, I go there also without camera. It's not purely only for the camera, but it's not a duty to follow it. But every now and again, new pictures happen there. It's more like a possibility. And I guess what's different from going to other parks and gardens is that you grow and you have a growing attachment to your own to this particular plot of land, no? Which is of course a little bit irrational, no? Because you could be in love with all sorts of plant life, but there is, I don't know, something about nurturing, but also about owning this for however long it is. No, if it's one season or maybe a lifetime, but it's a matter of care, and that makes then these particular plants more interesting, or I think I'm able to focus more closely on this. And it's also been the venue for me to take portraits or nudes, like this picture called Dan, which was also here at the Serpentine, and of course then there is these are the outdoor gardens, but this is one picture which was also here because there was a lot of greenery in our show here, and this is called Zimmerlinde Michel, and that's from the windowsills inside my studio, but I leave those out because they are not outside gardens. So thank you very much.